Hey everybody, the last Shoegazer here, back with another Wild Eye movie review. This time we're going to be looking at Blood, Slaughter, Massacre. This is kind of a throwback film, giving a nod to 80s slashers. So if you're a fan of slashers, especially an independent take on the subgenre, I would definitely recommend this. This was a fun time. I really did enjoy it. It did have some parts that kind of seemed a little bit lower budget, whereas some of the gore and the special effects, which were all practical, seemed like they put more money into that, which I was pleased with. Some of the stuff was pretty hard to stomach. The kills were very realistic looking. They weren't cheesy or stupid looking. They were believable, and very bloody. Yeah, props to the folks behind the special effects and the makeup. I would definitely give that a thumbs up. The camera work was pretty shaky, pretty gritty. I think a lot of it was intentional, some of the different angles. It did make the viewing experience a little bit more interesting and engaging, but some of the transitions and scenes were a little bit more raw and I think cheaply produced, as compared to some of the others in the film. But overall, the total experience was it was good. The payoff was good. And this dude here, known as the Ripper, who commits these killings. There's one massacre at the beginning of the film that kind of gets the whole killing spree going again 10 years later. And yeah, he's pretty creepy. The mask, it's just a regular Halloween looking mask, but it's I feel like he's pretty unique and original. In a way, definitely kind of gives a nod to Michael Myers. Maybe people would even say Jason, or some other slasher villains. Even some of the close-ups and the angles that were used almost reminded me of not the classic Halloween that everyone cherishes, but almost some shots that made me recall similar shots in Rob Zombie's Halloween. So in my opinion, that's not a bad thing. Rob Zombie's Michael Myers is quite menacing and brutal in my opinion. But yeah, so the Ripper definitely kind of made me think back on some of those shots, which I liked. There's a lot that plays very similarly to like I said, Halloween, but also like the Scream films, which I'm not particularly a fan of. I did like the original, and also Seven, the two detectives here, who, by the way, just have great portrayals. I mean, their acting is really good. I would say that the detectives were actually my favorite characters in the film, aside from the villain himself here, the Ripper. But yeah, they were really good. Especially the one who is kind of the main focus of the story. He's involved in investigating the killings, and he was a part of the original call to the killings there 10 years prior, which is how the film opens. And something happens to him, and then he's a cop at that point in the story, and then 10 years later he's actually a detective. on the case again. And yeah, he does a really really good job. Now the other characters aren't quite as on point. There's a lot of cheesy stuff. Some of the acting isn't very good in my opinion, but it's for what it is. I think it's good. All in all, it doesn't take away from the overall experience of the film, and what a lot of slasher fans are coming to experience, which is a creepy story, a creepy killer doing creepy things, and seeing the typical fun kills and the gore and all that. So in that sense, it didn't matter that the acting wasn't all on point. I didn't expect it to be. So anyway, moving on. I don't want to give too much away of the story, but like I said, there's some killings that the Ripper does in the beginning of the story that kind of sets everything in motion, kind of done out of revenge, and then he kind of comes back and starts striking again, only with a different group of people. And I don't want to give that away, but it's very intentional and very purposeful. So it kind of plays almost like a crime investigation kind of film. Like I said, it's kind of like Seven in a way, which I really enjoyed. We start to learn about the one detective and some home life troubles that he's having. I wouldn't say the person who played his wife is the best actress, but it's a good start to the film, and then I feel like it kind of takes a little bit of a turn more towards the vibe of Scream at that point. There's some girls, who are friends in the house, and there's some stuff starting to happen with the Ripper coming after them, and there's some scenes of him like walking around outside the house, and it starts to feel a good bit like Scream at that point for me. But overall, I feel like it's good. I would recommend it if you're a fan of 80s slashers and you're okay with a little bit more of an independent take on that. The soundtrack's pretty good. I did enjoy the music. If you come, to see movies for some gratuitous stuff, that's pretty typical of movies like this, and I will say there's actually a lot of it. So get ready for that. Let's see, what else did I want to say about this? I'm looking at my notes here. There's also some special features. I did not check all of them out, but there are actually a lot on this. Deleted scenes, outtakes. There's some trailers, all kinds of stuff. I kind of perused a little bit through that last evening after I finished watching this, but I didn't check all of it out. But there's some good special features there. I'll show you the back. The Ripper has returned. A sadistically fun flick for slasher fans. So you can see the synopsis. But yeah, like I said, this is a fun time. Love the Ripper. I think it's a really interesting story. Some of it gets a little bit far-fetched, and a little bit out there. I feel like they could have cut it, back to being a little bit more believable, with just him kind of coming back 10 years later to seek revenge yet again on another group of people that are kind of related to the first group of people who he massacred at a party in the beginning. But there's some things that kind of happen towards the end, some things that are said and believed that I don't know if that needed to be added in. It's kind of weird. But all in all, I would probably give this a 7 out of 10. I did enjoy it for an indie film, a little bit lower budget. But yeah, fun for slasher fans. If you're a fan of the style of most Wild Eye films, yeah, I would recommend it. So thanks for watching, guys, and take care.